Peace, beautiful people. It is your girl, the real Tony Hickman, and I am out in my neighborhood just doing a stroll, getting some exercise in, and pretty much just going through random thoughts. I just tripped if y'all saw me move about. But anyway, coming to y'all because I've had so much on my spirit lately and I just want to share. And the idea was like, if I let you in, then you let me out. And I know that sounds interesting, right? Like if I let you in, but what I was thinking is like, if I let you in my world a little bit more, then you let me out of my fears of trauma and rejection and the concept of believing that I might not be enough. I am allowed out. And I believe in the end, that may be what it's really about. It may really just be about us getting over who we think we have to be, even who we think we are, so we can become what we are supposed to be. And who is that? Look, that spirit talking right there, if y'all hear the breeze, right? But who is that? Who are we supposed to be? I find that interesting to think about. I have a podcast that'll be coming out in November, and it's called The Tony Hickman Show. And this podcast is about a lot of things. But I ended up developing these different personalities that will reflect a concept of situations that we deal with in our world, in our inner world, our addictions, and our belief systems. And so I end up playing these people, these different versions of people, because I've seen it in myself. I've seen these different versions of this personality that I have created in these actors or actresses that are really different versions of myself or other people I know mixed in. See, I grew up in a family that really was strong on Christian principles. No. I'm not going to say Christian principles. Definitely not going to say Christian principles, because the principles I actually believe in. I believe in the principles. What I don't support is the concept of what Christians or people who call themselves or identify as Christians believe that these principles have made them. And so in that, because I grew up in this family, even though I didn't grow up Christian per se, I mean, I guess like everybody else, because my mother was a Seventh-day Adventist versus a Christian that goes to church on Sundays. I still fell under that category. And so as I started learning more about different spiritual practices, I allowed myself to. And this has been well over 20, probably 30 years ago. So I'm not new to it. It's been in me. It's honestly, I believe it's in every melanin dominant person, whether they like it or not. But knowing our culture and where we really come from. I'm sorry, I was looking down because there was a newspaper on the ground, and I just believe everything is like a sign of something, you know. But anyway, knowing our culture, because many of us in America came from Native American descendants, and some African descendants, but we're pretty much mutts in America. We're mutts, and so we have these adaptions that we end up connecting to, but many of us still have not dug deep into who we really are. We don't know who we are. We've always been told who we are. And I didn't want to keep taking somebody else's explanation of who I'm supposed to be. And I wanted to start tuning in into who am I? Because have you ever asked yourself, who are you at your core? Right? Like, who are you when you take away the concept of what you think you are and really dig deep into your own spirit, your own darkness, your own insecurities, your own trauma that happened to you because nobody taught you better. Your own trauma you may have caused others because it happened to you and you just really didn't know better. Like, who are we at that end of the spectrum? Because many of us like to paint these pictures of who we want people to see us as. And in the meantime, we don't really know who we are. But I'm saying, who are you? Right? And so that's, long story short, of kind of the concept of the podcast that I'm gonna be hosting, the Tony Hickman Show. And I was a little, because I've been doing these characters, but I was a little, I guess, hesitant on releasing the footage that I recorded with Bob. Bob is one of the characters, right? And then I have the crazy lady who ain't so crazy. And I have Dr. Alika, but I'm gonna have more even on there. And it's just to help break down these analogies of how we think, really. So I was kind of nervous again about putting it out, right? But I did, of course, because I'm one of them people, I jump out the parachute and wait for them to throw me the parachute sometimes. I mean, I jump out the plane and wait for them to throw me the parachute sometimes, you know? I'm not saying it's wise, it's just, I don't mind stepping out of my comfort zone in front of the public, because I believe that's how we actually initiate finding ourselves. The public is going to have so much to say about you every single day. Somebody is out there saying why you don't matter, how you thought about something is wrong, why what you did was wrong. But what do you think about yourself? And do you see your darkness? Do you acknowledge your darkness, or are you caught up in the concept that you believe is you? Now, I have another piece that is going to be coming out in November about this reality. Besides what I just said. But this is it's a poem. It's a poem that I have. And I'm going to be putting that out in November, but it really digs deep into our thought process. But yeah, so I was ashamed to put some of this stuff out because, again, the ego had me thinking, well, what are people going to think about me if I decide to put this out? Like, what are they going to think? Who are they going to think I am? And I think that comes across a lot of our thought processes, right? What will other people think about this? But is what you're doing, I think the better question to start asking ourselves is, am I making a difference with this choice? Am I potentially helping somebody else's life change, or assisting in them perhaps thinking deeper about life in the process of making this choice? I'm letting this car pass. Am I fulfilling something that is connected to a message that is not here to hurt other people? And if that is the case, then it shouldn't matter what another person thinks about our decisions. At the end of the day, it shouldn't matter. Now, I say that with lots of confidence, but I know it takes a lot to get to that point of knowing that no matter what I decide to do, I am working in my best interest, and I'm working in my soul's best interest when making this choice. So while I have concerned myself with what people think of me, like I said, I have grown up in a family that has probably, without knowing me, judged me according to the idea that I choose not to identify with what the masses believe. And that's okay. I can see how people can do that. So if that's their choice, that's fine, right? But in a way, that has helped me further understand myself and finally get to this point of knowing that it is okay for me to become whoever I choose to become, no matter where that choice takes me. Because I am not here to hurt or harm. That's not my purpose on earth. And knowing, or finally, let me say that. Thank you. Finally accepting this as my reality, but as a choice to be comfortably living in my own skin. It's finally okay. It's finally okay for me to be exactly who I am. Because my purpose on this earth is not to harm. And as long as I know that my purpose on this earth is not to harm, then I should be okay with who I am. Each one teach one, right? And then look, I'm about to show y'all something. I'm walking by a truck and look what it said. I hope y'all can see that. It said, be someone. Be someone. Be something good to somebody. At the end of the day, be something that you can be proud of. That's all I'm saying. Make yourself proud of yourself. Regardless of the stipulations that other people put on us. Regardless of the situations that people speak on our life or say about us because we don't have the same beliefs that they have. I think we have to understand at that point that that is their fear speaking and not ours. So if their fear chooses to dictate their life, or even more, if they choose to allow their fear to dictate their reality, then that is their choice and has nothing to do with you. And that's that. Peace.
Welcome to the Tony Hickman Show. Tony Hickman Show. Really, it is the Tony Hickman experience, where we will dive deep into the subconscious of our own mental programming and discover how it is helping us or hurting us. Is it hurting us? Is it hurting us? We will do this through skits, mostly played by different versions of myself.
Hi, I'm Bob.
And I'm the crazy lady who say I ain't crazy.
I am Dr. Alika with Alika Lessons.
But we will also have special guests.
You mean them breatharians you be talking
All that
about?
box shit ain't food anyway.
I just can't believe people eat air.
And of course we will have performances. I mean, I am an Emmy Award-winning artist.
That's your ego, Tony.
I know, Dr. Alika. All this and more on the Tony Hickman Show.